fellow carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 1997 film Peacekeeper, starring Dolph Lundgren, Montel Williams, Michael Sarrazin, and Roy Scheider. But first, a word from our sponsors. An overview of the movie? After doing an unauthorized food drop, U.S. Air Force Major Frank Cross has two options. Either be court-martialed or become the keeper of the president's black bag, which holds his nuclear launch codes. While the president doesn't approve of this, his campaign manager thinks it will be good for publicity. After the black bag is stolen, Cross becomes a one-man army, fighting against a group of terrorists hell-bent on the destruction of the United States. The pros of the movie? Well, first of all, they don't waste any time with backstory. I mean, there is a little bit of backstory, but it's like 3, at most 5 minutes of the movie. That's it. That's all the backstory you get, because you don't need to know this stuff from the past. You need to know what's happening now. You don't need to know what got him to the position he's in at the moment. You just need to know what's happening while he's in this position. Seriously, there's a saying about movies: less history, more mystery. The less we know about the lead character, sometimes the better. That's why characters like Snake Plissken were so successful. You didn't know what his backstory was. It was a mystery. You just knew where he was now. These days, in a lot of movies, they waste so much time just telling you how he got into the position he's in, what caused the position he's in. Just tell us that he's in this position and move on with the movie. That's all you need. Nice and streamlined. You don't waste time with all that nonsense. Seriously, if they had made this movie today, at least the first half hour would have just been about him doing that frickin' food drop. It would have been wasting time with that instead of the main plot of the movie. You don't need all that bullcrap backstory. Just have the main plot of the movie. Also, for what this movie was, the acting was pretty good. I'll be the first, well, I don't know if I'm the first to say this, but I will openly admit, I think Dolph Lundgren is a better actor than he gets credit for. He actually is a talented actor. Yeah, sometimes he's a little stiff, but really, I think that's more to do with the character he's given than so much his acting abilities. Just look at his newer stuff. He is actually a pretty good actor for what he has and what he's given. I mean, yeah, he wasn't given a lot story-wise or acting-wise or just character-wise for this movie. He kind of had to make it up as he went and do the best he had with what he got. And let's be honest, you give someone chicken shit, you're not going to get a chicken soup out of it. It's just not going to happen. So I think Dolph Lundgren and all the actors in the movie did a good job with what they had, considering what the movie was and what the budget was. Also, I think the story in this movie was very original. It's the first time I've seen this kind of story. You know, a guy takes he captures the president's nuclear launch codes and holds the country hostage with the threat of nuclear attacks on American soil. I've never seen a story like this before. I've never seen this in a movie before. And it's so nice and refreshing to just see an original story in a movie and not some rehashed bullshit that's been done time and time again. The cons of this movie? Well, a lot of the details were off. I mean, if it's just one time, or a couple times, or 3 times, it's not that big of a deal. But the details in this movie were consistently off. Usually the details surrounding military actions and things like that. For example, not really the opening scene, but like within the first 10 minutes of the movie, the President of the United States is giving this speech on Veterans Day to a room full of veterans. And he's talking about how it's a day to remember all the soldiers who gave their lives for the country and who sacrificed their lives for freedom and who paid the ultimate price for freedom and for this country and to preserve America. That's not what Veterans Day is about. That's Memorial Day. Veterans Day is about recognizing the people who went to war and came back. Memorial Day is about recognizing the people who went to war and died. That's Memorial Day. He's giving this speech on Veterans Day. To a lot of people, that won't seem like a big deal, but it's just the fact that they constantly screwed up details like this. Like, the salutes in this movie were crap. Almost everyone in this movie was military personnel, American military personnel, but none of them knew how to salute. You have people who were doing it like armed with their fingers spread out. You have people who were doing it like this, and that's not how you salute. I'm not military, and I know that that's not how you salute. I know they're getting all these details wrong. And if it's that glaringly obvious to someone like me who's not military and doesn't really have much of a connection to the military, why the hell wouldn't someone who has a connection or who is military, why wouldn't they notice it? They would notice it, and it would throw them off, and they would hate the movie. Well, I don't know if they would hate the movie for it, but it would definitely piss them off, and it would hurt the movie in their eyes. Also, there were some action scenes in this movie that just didn't have music behind them. And let's be honest, when there's an action scene that has no music, like the background is just silent and all you hear is environmental noise, a lot of the time it makes it seem awkward and like, should I really be watching this? It just feels out of place, like something is missing. And a lot of times maybe you can't put your finger on it, but it's like something's missing. I don't know what it is, but something's missing. And then you realize, oh, there's no background music. There needs to be background music to make this feel more hard-hitting and more intense and a lot of other fun stuff instead of just room noise and all that, and like punches and kick sounds. No, have background music. It doesn't necessarily need to be loud or overpowering. It doesn't even need to necessarily be noticeable. Just enough to be there to kind of add to the atmosphere and add to the environment and add to the scene. You need to have that music during the fight scenes and during the action scenes. Which brings me kind of to my next point. There wasn't enough action in this movie. Let's be honest, let's be realistic. A lot of this movie was a cat and mouse game. It was Dolph Lundgren hiding out in this missile silo, trying to disarm missiles and stuff like that and be all stealthy and crap. And it was the bad guys trying to shoot off missiles and stuff. So yeah, a lot of this was a cat and mouse game. But honestly, if they would have just added maybe one more action scene to this movie, like right in the middle, it really would have helped it out a good bit. My overall thoughts on the movie? While this isn't a great movie, I did still enjoy it. So I give it one thumb up. It's got a nice original concept that I had never seen before, and it's always refreshing to see something new. That being said, die-hard action fans may not like it that much, as a good chunk of the movie is a cat and mouse game. This movie definitely has a low-budget feel to it when it comes to the sets in some areas and some other things in the movie. And that's something people need to know going in. To sum it up, I think Peacekeeper is worth watching at least once. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. Also, if you have any recommendations for things you would like me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below and follow us on Twitter at explosions_TV. Thank you and have a nice day.